Hey guys, it's Kathy. I hope you're doing well. So this is going to be a nightmare stream, and I should have canceled it 2 hours ago when I found out, but I didn't because I'm hoping for the best. Xfinity is doing planned maintenance on my internet right now, and it's been shitty for the last 2 hours. But I'm praying that my stream will go through. It's going to be rocky, guys. It's going to be rocky. Yeah, that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, since it's already going to be rocky, then I'm going to play this clip first. It's about a car accident. Nobody gets hurt. Well, I mean, he says he gets hurt. Nobody is seriously injured. But while I was recording this, something popped up on my screen, and I didn't notice because I was modding in Judge Fleischer's courtroom, so I didn't notice. So, to block what was popped up on my screen, I had to put a big sticker in on the video, the whole half of the video. The bottom is like all stickered. So to make it better, I put a special sticker first. But that special sticker doesn't cover the whole thing. So I had to put an ugly sticker for the last half of this video. And there is a jump scare because it gets real loud when they play the video. So when they start to play the video, it's going to get real loud, and I will try to remember. I'm sure I will, to stop it, pause it, let everybody turn their stuff down. And because they have a video of an officer on a highway taking a statement from the guy in the car accident. So, all the cars are going by, and it's really loud. You can't really, I should just skip it because you can't really hear what anybody's saying, but no, for you guys, you get it all, good and bad. Oh, hi, Lori. Hi, Linus. Hi, Lena Key. Hi, Nan. Hi, Kelly. Jojo. Mike-O. Jazzy's up. Jazzy, go to bed. You have school tomorrow. Go to bed. Bed. CJ. Did I miss anybody? If I miss someone, just put your name up real quick. All right. Here we go. Here we go, guys. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, maybe you should turn your volume down right now. Maybe I will turn your volume down right now. Just until well, that was the wrong button. I just unshared all of my screens. And I'll just turn it down this way. Well, it's halfway. I'm going to leave it like that. Hopefully it's not too loud.
Versus Jonathan Back. Mr. Back.
Is that too loud? You got your stuff turned down? Hi, Robert. Yeah, I dabbed. I dab. Here we go. I'm going to start it again. Ready?
Present without counsel. Mr. King's here on behalf of the Law Director's Office. We're scheduled for trial today on a charge of driving under or failure to reinstate a license and Mark Lane's violation. Mr. Back, you wish to have a trial today? Yes. Okay. Mr. King, would you like to make an opening statement?
No, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Back, would you like to make an opening statement?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I know I don't have my license. I went through a lot when I was younger. Now I'm trying to clean up my mess, and it's taken a lot because I owe a lot of money.
Okay.
But as for the marked lanes, I was working in Westerville out by New Albany, and I was coming home, and was
Just so you know, with this judge, when he says okay, when you say something really stupid and he says okay, what he really means, I swear, what he really means is you are an idiot and you are guilty. And it's funny because he'll get all these people up here talking to him, telling him the stupidest things, like this guy. Yeah, I know I don't got my license because, I made a lot of mistakes when I was young and I'm trying to clean up my mess. Okay. That meant you're stupid and you're guilty. And it's funny because you can see, like, he says okay normally, but then he says okay to other people, and you could tell the difference. And as soon as he says it's okay, and he'll keep saying, okay, I understand, understandable. It means you are stupid and you are guilty and you are in trouble. And it's so cool.
stopping on the highway and the interstate when this gentleman right here, he was going 80 along with two other semis behind him. And I was almost to get on the interstate, and he ended up speeding up. So I was losing my lane, so I had to slow down. And for me to slow down when it was raining and everything going on, I kind of slowed a little bit. And his back tire caught me and spun me out of control. I ended up getting a concussion. Yes, thankfully he called it in. And then when this gentleman came in, I was in the middle of a concussion, dazed, and I was worried because I didn't have my license. And as soon as he talked to this gentleman that was driving the semi,
Yep. Just in case you were wondering, this is an opening statement.
he came back and started blaming everything on me like I did something wrong.
Okay, thank you. Mr.
Totaled
King-
my truck.
You hear that okay?
Okay. Mr. King, make our first witness.
Thank you. George Loosemore.
Right up here to the witness. Right up here to the witness stand. You'll see some steps up to your left. Go up those steps, remain standing. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being here should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or under the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Have a seat. State your
Can't
full
handle
name,
my
spell your last name.
My name's George Loosemore. My last name's Loosemore.
And state your full home address, please.
You had to, I have to get my driver's license out. I don't remember that. I have a post office box too. That's why I don't. It's,
Wait, girl, I haven't seen him yet.
yeah. Herman Road.
I tried. But he kept talking. He couldn't read it.
1085 Herman.
I tried. I failed.
You may proceed.
Thank you. What do you do for a living? Drive truck. How long have you been a truck driver? 52 years. And do you have a CDL? Yes. And I want to call your attention back to May 9th, 2024. Were you driving a truck at that point? Yes, I was. Describe your route. Where were you at? I left Cincinnati, Ohio. I was going back to up above Pittsburgh. I came up 77 up to.
It's 4:30 in the morning.
I was going eastbound on 70. Okay. And you were headed home if you were going to Butler? Okay. And at that point in time, was there a collision? Yes, there was. And do you recall where that collision would have been? Approximately the 126 mile marker, or exit 126. I don't know if that's the exit number, but it was a 126 mile marker right now. Okay. Would that have been in Union Township, Licking County, Ohio, or do you know? I don't know. Okay. And why don't you tell us how the accident occurred? I was going eastbound, running about 65 mile an hour. He said 82, but my truck is governed at 71. Your Honor, if he would be quiet, that would be wonderful. I was in traffic and I can pass the ramp.
This lawyer is a total jerk. And the defendant has an attitude. And the judge doesn't care either way. He just doesn't care.
Next thing I knew, I felt something jolt. I looked in my mirror. He went underneath the front axle on my trailer, and I spun him out.
Okay, what trailer? Was it a closed trailer?
No, I had a tanker.
Tanker?
Yes.
And had you seen him at all?
No. Not at all.
And you were in the right-hand
I
lane,
was in the right-hand lane.
and he was coming onto Interstate 70?
Yes.
And what portion of the trailer did he hit?
He went right under the front axle on the trailer on the passenger side.
On the approach.
You missed the rear axle.
Thank you, sir. The defendant says it was the rear axle. Plaintiff's Exhibit 1, what is that?
That's where he spun. That's the rear two axles on my trailer.
Okay,
And it's impossible to get under the rear axle because there's this much difference between the rear and the front axle. The front axle went up over it,
okay,
lifted the whole trailer. That axle is actually about 4 inches off the ground when I'm empty. When he went under it, being it was off the ground, empty already, it climbed up over it.
okay. And that's the rear of the truck, the
Yes.
rear tire,
Yeah,
rear fender, I guess?
Yes, this is the rear fender when he spun it at the corner of the fender.
Okay, so he spun out, and did you find out where his car went?
Yeah, he had
I all of a sudden miss Lori. DJ. Lori, where are you? Where have you been? You would love this clip. Did you get the birds off the roof of your house yet?
ended up in a ditch right about the bottom of the ramp.
Okay,
Maybe just slightly past the ramp on the bottom.
and is that a true and accurate photograph of the damage to your trailer? After the accident, what, if anything, did you do?
I called 911 to report it. It had already been reported. The lady I talked to said it was a woman driver, so I got out. Didn't even take time to put my
That's
cones
my
out. And they
underwear.
got back there
Love it,
real
with an
quick. 'Cause
eagle.
I figured it was a woman by herself. I got back there. The gentleman was standing there. He was okay. Stood right there. We talked. I asked what happened. He said he lost control. He hit a pothole, lost control, and slid under it.
Okay, and the gentleman you talked to, is he in the courtroom today?
Yes, the gentleman right there in front of me.
Gentleman at the other table?
Yes,
Okay, and did you stick around until the police arrived?
yes, I did.
And did you give them a statement?
Yes.
Anything else that you can think of regarding the accident itself?
Other than the fact that he said he was fine. He told me he had no driver's license and he was worried about going to jail because he didn't have a driver's license. And I believe he said he didn't have insurance. I will not swear to that. I believe he said he had no insurance too.
Okay, I have nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Beck, any questions for the witness?
Yeah, if you ran over my truck,
Yeah.
you can't run over, my truck was lifted.
If you look at the hood on his truck, you can clearly see the hood
No,
scratched on top.
he did not.
Your Honor.
He hit the sidewalk.
You will have a chance to testify. You don't get to argue with his answers. Okay? You have any other questions for him?
But he has statements.
Let's follow up. Did you have an opportunity to look at the other vehicle?
Yes, I took pictures of it.
So the judge.
In fact, I still have the pictures.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 2, can you identify that?
That's the front end of his truck where my tire went up over it.
Okay, and when you say the tire went up over, what do you mean?
Well, being that front tire's in the air, when it hit, it went climb up over the corner of the hood and spun it.
Okay, that's a helper tire that wasn't down?
Yeah, it wasn't down because the trailer was empty.
Okay. Nothing further.
So, Lori, this man works with your husband every day, and they like trade cases back and forth. They do.
Thank you. You may step down. Call your next
Come on,
witness.
Ethan.
Trooper McCall.
He didn't show his shirt.
Remain standing and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you should give in this case now being heard to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or the penalty of perjury.
Yes.
Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name.
Alan McCall, MCCALL,
State your business address, please.
3855 Outdoor Road, Granville, Ohio, 430.
so employed back on May 9th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
Did your duties that day include the enforcement of the traffic laws of the state of Ohio?
Yes, sir.
Dressed in the uniform of the day, similar to what you're wearing now?
Yes, sir.
Were you operating a plainly marked highway patrol cruiser with all required markings, lights, including the working overhead light bar?
Yes.
The cruiser you were operating, more specifically, are there any videos in the cruiser or on your cell phone that day?
Yes, sir.
In what videos were there?
Let's get the dash camera and also the body camera.
How was the body camera activated?
You can do it manually, or as soon as I turn my lights on and open the door, the body camera is activated and it goes back 90 seconds.
Okay. Calling your attention again to May 9th, 2024, at about 2:05 p.m., were you dispatched to an accident?
Yes, sir.
And where was that accident located?
It was on Interstate 70, eastbound, at milepost 126 in the township of Union.
Licking County, Ohio?
Yes, sir.
And when you got there, what did you observe?
I observed a truck off the right side of the road into a ditch, and then
Is that an Eagle?
a semi that was
Can't
parked
tell.
at the head on the berm.
Did you interview both drivers?
Yes, sir.
Recall what the defendant, strike that. The truck that was in the ditch, who was he driven by? What was it being driven by? Who drove it?
Mr. Back.
Okay. And ultimately you issued him a traffic citation?
Yes, sir.
And what was the citation for?
For marked lanes, and then also for the driving under suspension.
And with respect to the marked lanes, what did he tell you about that?
When I got down to asking the witness statement, I asked him when the first contact was. He stated that it was before the dotted line, indicating for vehicles to merge off of the exit ramp. So the first contact was during the white fog line portion of the interstate.
Okay. And was he headed on eastbound on 70, or was he trying to get on to 70?
He was coming from State Route 37 on the exit ramp, and he was trying to get onto Interstate 70.
Okay. And how about the damage to his vehicle as well as to the semi? Did you observe that?
I did, yes.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 and 2 still should be up on the table. Can you identify first Plaintiff's Exhibit 1?
Yes, that is the rear portion of the truck or the semi where it was struck by the truck.
And with respect to Plaintiff's Exhibit 2?
That is the truck that was down the ditch when I arrived on scene.
And are those two inaccurate copies of what you observed back on May 9th, 2024?
Yes, sir.
Showing you what I marked for identification purposes as Plaintiff's Exhibit 3. Can you identify that photograph?
Yes, this is a picture of the scene facing westbound. So I'd be in between the truck and the semi at this point, and I'm facing back towards State Route 37.
Okay. And the semi would be behind that?
Correct.
And you took that photograph?
I did.
Is that true and accurate photograph of where the pickup truck was situated when you got there?
Yes.
And where the bailiff is, but with respect to the body cam, I want to play it. Is it ready? Is your screen on?
your monitor on?
It's got a black screen right now.
Not yet. Is your monitor on there?
No.
Okay, hit the power button on the right or left, I don't know.
Bye, Kinsley.
Let
Have
me
a
know
good
when
day
you
at
can
work.
see the screen, Mr. Beck.
I was distracted with chat and I almost missed it. And then everybody's day would have been in a little worse for wear. Okay. So as soon as they press play, this is right beside a highway. So now would be a good time to turn your sound down a little bit. We still have like, I'm guessing another 60 seconds before he hits play, but maybe not. I was distracted with chat. So here we go. Get ready.
I think I'm gonna turn it off. The screen. Turn it off.
The screen's on now.
Okay.
Is your screen on?
Yeah, blue
Oh,
screen.
okay.
Here we
I
go.
want to play a little bit. You indicated you did have a body cam.
Yes.
Was your conversation with the defendant captured on the body cam?
Yes.
You good? Yeah, I just got hit on the head a little bit in my leg. Okay. Fire already came out here. No injuries. Just need a record. Okay. Can you tell me what happened? I was trying to come off the on-ramp, and he came flying by. He said he couldn't see me. I spun a little bit where the rivets right there, you know, hooks. Yeah. And the back end swerved, and then it swerved back over, and his back tire just smacked my truck. I did 2 360s and went down my truck. Okay. And were you still in the merge lane here? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any preference on who I call for a record?
So he wasn't on Interstate 70. According to him, he was merging onto it.
Correct.
Sorry, can anybody hear me? Because I'm getting error messages saying my mic is not hooked up, but it is. And I know the internet is having issues. I know. So I'm wondering, the cat will go away in a minute, but not the subscribe sticker. That's here for the duration.
And the little snippet that we saw of that, is that true and accurate depiction of your conversation with the defendant?
Yes, sir.
Luck, Lori.
And for the record, I've marked that as Plaintiff's Exhibit 4.
Okay.
And as a result of your investigation, did you also have an opportunity to run the defendant's driving record?
Yes, sir.
And what did you discover when you ran that?
He was under a suspension. He was failure to reinstate as a status.
You should subscribe.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 5, does that appear to be a certified copy of the VM?
Oh, I definitely did.
Yes, sir.
And
I
based
did.
on the name,
I put
date
it
of birth,
there
and social
for you
security
guys.
numbers that the defendant that you've identified.
Thank
Yes, sir.
you.
And if
Thank
you look
you.
under suspensions, I think it's either line 4 or 5. What is that suspension?
There's non-compliance, license forfeiture, 12-point suspension.
Line 4 or 5? Line 4.
That would be a 12-point suspension
No,
for failure to reinstate.
it's a failure to reinstate, correct?
Yes.
And that's why you issued again that traffic citation for that as well.
Yes.
And again, why did you issue the traffic citation for the marked lanes?
Because he was at fault for the crash.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Mr. Back, any questions for the trooper?
Yes, if you pay attention to the video, do you see how far I am from the on-ramp? And if you paid attention, when you turn to see the semi, you can barely see it because it's so far in the distance. If he was going 65, like, the distance don't make sense. That's all I gotta say.
Is that a question?
Statement, I guess.
Okay. Trooper, what did you say was the marked lanes violation?
So when I got into asking him the questions, I asked him when he first made contact with the semi. He said he first made contact when it was still in the white fog line portion, when you're merging on the interstate, and there's a dotted line portion where you're able to merge with the turn signal, of course. But he said that it was before that dotted line.
The contacting?
Yeah.
Okay. In what are your lanes?
What are the lanes?
Yes.
We get 2 eastbound lanes and then a lane merging on from State Route 37.
So how did he violate the statute? Or how do you believe he violated the statute?
I believe he went over the white fog line in order to make contact with the.
In case you missed it, because some people did miss it. Thank you, Fozzie. So when I went to record this, I was modding in Judge Fleischer's courtroom, and my eyes weren't on this computer, and something had popped up halfway through the recording. Something had popped up that I don't want you to see. So I put a subscribe button over it. It's going to be there for the duration of the video. It's pretty. Gives you something to read while you're listening.
semi in the right lane.
On the left of the ramp?
Yes,
So the fog line on the left side of the ramp,
correct.
to the traffic side of the ramp.
To the traffic.
Traffic side of the ramp?
Yes.
Okay.
Should be in the body cam. I told you we merged and wrecked right like where I was supposed to merge. I was running out of lane. If I didn't stop, he would have kept going and I would have went off the road anyway.
You have a question about that?
Yeah. Do you remember in the video where you said that, or I told you that I wrecked merging onto the highway? Because what you're saying is wrong in the videos right here.
I remember pointing to the dotted line. I said, "Did you merge before that dotted line?" And you indicated that you did.
No, I didn't. We can play the video. It's right here.
It was during the witness statement portion of the.
Oh, okay.
So he told you, what did he tell you?
That he had merged prior to the dotted line.
Okay, so is the ramp a lane?
Thank you, Louie.
I would say so, yes.
Okay, and there's another portion where there's a dotted line,
Correct.
which would be the on-ramp lane, is that what you're saying?
That's for traffic to indicate that they're able to merge on.
Right, I
Yeah.
understand, but that's what you're saying, that it's a separate lane, he's merging into the right lane.
Yeah.
Anything else, Mr. King?
Yeah, I've got some follow-up, I guess, based upon the questioning.
Don't worry, he's going to testify soon, guys. Again, because he's already testified a couple times.
You indicated you took a written statement from the defendant as well.
Yes.
How do you want to mark for identification purposes? Plaintiff's Exhibit 6, can you identify that?
Yes, that is the witness statement for Mr. Beck.
What did he tell you happened?
His own words, he said he was trying to merge onto the highway by exit 126. He said he couldn't get on, so he tried to slow down and he slid under the rear trailer, spun 2.5 times, landing in the ravine on the side of the highway.
And that's in his handwriting?
Yes.
And then did you follow that up with questions and answers?
Yes, I did.
And what were those?
I asked him if he was injured. He said no. I said, when did you first see the semi? As I was coming around the corner before the merge. I asked him when the first contact was with the semi. He said before the dotted line. I said, were you trying to merge before first contact? He said, yes. He came in flying and I tried to slow down and lost traction. Asked him if he took any evasive action. He said he slowed down. And then when I asked if there was anything he could have done to prevent the crash, he said maybe padding the brakes. I also asked him if he lost control prior
A couple
to
times.
the semi. He said yes.
And so he went over the solid white line
Correct.
of the on-ramp.
Yes.
Okay. Is that a true and accurate copy of his statement as well as your question and answer?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Yeah, he got charged with not having a license that night too. And the very first thing he said in his opening statement was, yeah, I know I don't have a license.
Mr. Beck, any other questions?
Yeah, you said I told you I wasn't hurt. As soon as the video started playing, I was like, yeah, I hurt my head and I hurt my leg. Sure did, right there. I had a concussion, by the way. I was a little fall, so that's why.
Is that a question?
I was just asking why I was lying. He was sworn totally. I'm sorry.
I think he was reading from your statement that he had.
Yes.
But I saw the video. I saw what you said in the video. Anything else, Mr. Beck? Okay. You may step down.
This time, Your Honor, we have nothing further and would offer into evidence plaintiff's exhibits 1 through 6.
Any objection to those
never-
exhibits, Mr. Beck?
Drive a semi.
Yeah. I'll make exhibits 1 through 6.
Never.
Mr. Beck, would you like to testify today?
Oh, yes, he does. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Please take a stand.
Remain standing, raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give in this case now being here should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, or on your penalty of perjury. Have a seat. State your full name, spell your last name,
My name is Jonathan Ryan Back, BACK,
and state your full home address.
9140 Desert Road, Blue Rock, Ohio.
Thank you.
You want to tell me what happened, Mr. Beck?
What is it?
You want to tell me what happened?
Yes, I was trying to get off work and get on the interstate, and it started pouring down the rain. And him and 2 other gentlemen, other semi drivers, there was 3 of them. They was coming in flying. They was going at least 80 because I was trying to go 70 to get on the interstate, and I couldn't. And I had to slow down because I was running out of road. So I slowed down, and it was slick because it was pouring down rain. And yes, I slid, and I hit his back axle, well, the back 2 axles, whatever it is, and they was not floating in the air. They was completely on the ground because they don't have floating tires on a tent trailer. So anyways, he did not run me over either. He hit my
That's two things that he said that can't be true. The first one is he was going 80 miles an hour. That guy who's been driving truck for 52 years says that he has a regulator on for 71 miles an hour. I believe that. I believe it's absolutely true. And then, so he can't be going 80 miles an hour. He just can't. And the second is this guy is saying that guy can't have a floating tire when it's empty. Who do we believe? Do we believe this guy or the guy who's been driving for 51 years?
front, right in front of the tire, and snapped my tie rod and shifted my whole frame of my truck sideways. And I spun out twice and went in the ditch backwards. I ended up hitting my head on the side of the glass on the window and then my knee on the dash.
Anything else you'd like to say today?
No.
Okay. Mr. King?
Do you have any idea how many cars were in the left-hand lane headed eastbound?
There was a couple, but there wasn't that many. And that's why this is what I said to him too. Is why it should be a law that he should not be allowed to be in the right lane. He should have to be on the left lane, especially passing in it.
Okay, well, he's in the right lane and there's
Right.
2 other trucks behind him.
behind him in the right lane.
Okay. You're not contesting the fact that you didn't have any sort of driving privileges back on
no.
the state?
I'm trying to get my life back together. I just got out of prison a couple years ago. I'm working in the union and work, and I'm trying to get my life together.
So
I got
you
a baby
saw the
on way.
semi?
Hmm?
You saw the semi?
Yes, I saw the
You
semi.
knew-
He said he didn't see me.
Sir, just listen to my questions. You saw the semi and you knew you couldn't merge, so you applied your brakes and then slid into the back of the semi?
Right.
He didn't swerve or anything onto the on-ramp, did he?
No,
Nothing
but
further, Your Honor.
I feel like he sped up. He said he didn't see me.
Nothing further.
Okay. So you saying you thought he was speeding? Is that what you mean?
He was definitely speeding. I was
My mom won Avon Person of the Year or whatever and got our microwave when they first came out. Yay.
going 70 trying to get on the on-ramp.
Anything else you want to say today? Okay. You may step down. Do you have any other evidence you wanted to present today, Mr. Beck?
No, they showed you all the evidence and they're trying to prove it against me. So.
Okay. All right. Mr. King, anything in closing?
Yes, Your Honor, very briefly. First, I don't think there's any question, but what the defendant was in fact driving under suspension. It's a failure to reinstate according to line 4 of the certified copy of the BMV. Secondly, as the trooper was describing, any on-ramp, you have a white line separating you from, in this case, the eastbound lanes. It then changes into a dotted line beyond that, allowing you to merge over if you can. Clearly, even by the defendant's admission, he could not merge over, regardless of the speed of the semi, and the semi driver indicates he's been doing that for 52 years. He was going approximately 65. Trooper even asked the defendant, did you go into the other lane prior to the dotted white line? He indicated he did not, that the collision occurred as he was trying to merge. Crossing that white line, you're not allowed to cross the white line. Consequently, he is guilty of the lane violation as well. Thank you.
So the entrance ramp lane is a lane for purposes of the statute, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Beck, you want to say anything in closing today?
Illegally by law, there's a law that you have to let people on ramp. Be cautious.
There's a law, guys, that you have to let people onto the on-ramp, even though they're definitely already on the on-ramp. But you have to let them on the on-ramp.
There's a law.
There's a law. Thank you for telling the judge that there's that law.
And did I retrieve the exhibits?
I have them.
Okay.
I wonder what this judge will do. Yes, I don't need them.
Okay, based on the evidence presented here today, Mr. Backer finds you guilty of driving, failure to reinstate your license and a Mark Lanes violation. Anything else to say, Mr. King?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And you showed proof of insurance to Judge Stansbury, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We didn't have any issue?
No, I believe in talking to the semi-driver, it's relatively minor, and I don't believe the owner of the trailer did anything with it.
Okay. All right.
So no restitution.
Okay. All right. Any question about that, Mr. Back?
No, I just thank you for doing the right thing and not suing me, even though you thanked me for taking it easy on you, for you being wrong. Thank you for not suing me. That's the only thing I did.
Your Honor, is he addressing this to the court?
Okay. You have a right to an appeal. You're welcome to do that. Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right.
You're
Thank you.
Don't take off.
I'm not.
Fuck me, fuck.
Come with me.
I think he's mad. I think he's mad. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. He mad. He rage quit in this courtroom. GG. GG. You're going with him. The judge didn't do that to him, but he probably could have, because I think there was a little bit of swearing going on at the end that we barely heard. Okay, we did the car accident. All right, now we'll go to this guy. This guy is my soulmate. This guy is my doppelganger. This guy is me.
Edward?
It's Edward Leon Morris, ma'am. They got it
Oh,
wrong.
thank you. Let me get that fixed. Did you already talk to her about, did y'all already talked about that, Lori?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Dale has it. Edward Leon Morris, no, they have Leon Morris Edward. And then they have Leon Edward Morris.
I don't know how they did all that. It's Edward Leon Morris. Even says so on my ID.
Well, then that must be right. And then on their form that they fill out to make sure you're, if you have any mental health issues, they have it written Edward Leon, but they don't have your last name.
Huh.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me look you up. Edward Leon Morris. Have you had tickets with us?
Yeah, it's been a long time.
He just asked him if he ever had tickets with her. Judge, of course he did.
Are you a junior?
Yes, ma'am.
Did your dad live in Sleepy Hollow?
No,
Somebody used to live on Cinderella. Isn't that in Sleepy Hollow?
I don't know.
Does your dad live here?
I think this is Texas. I think this is DeKalb County. I could be way wrong, just so you know. I can't memorize all the courts that I go to. But Sleepy Hollow and Cinderella, I have to move there, guys.
No, he lives in Alabama.
Okay. Well, there's another Edward Morris, but that's not uncommon. What state of birth?
31068.
Then it's Georgia. That's what I meant, Georgia. But they don't have an accent.
Well, it has been a long time. Where'd you go for 3 years?
I was being good.
Really?
Yeah,
What happened?
Hi,
I don't know, but
Ray.
being good for a while. And I kind of got a little drunk last night.
Well, there you go. I mean,
Right,
you had a
And that's the whole reason why I got this clip. And I'm going to rewind it for 10 seconds because this is me.
I don't know, but being good for a while. And I kind of got a little drunk last night.
well, there you go. I mean,
Right, so.
you had a bunch of old
Yeah.
cases, bunch of old.
I know.
Do you have a place to stay?
Yeah.
Okay, because I have an address at the resource center unless you updated something with Lori. But
Yeah.
did you used to live on Wisdom?
Yes. I live on 1154 Bell
Definitely
Street.
not.
Is that in a house or an apartment?
Apartment building.
Did you give her an apartment number?
E101. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Lori,
I
did you get
kind of
that?
got a little drunk last night.
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay, perfect. Are you working, sir?
Sometimes do an odd job. I can.
Okay, do you mind if I fix your name on your charge so it correctly states your name?
That's fine with me.
Okay, I'm gonna add that. Edward Leon Morris.
Yes, ma'am.
But I kind of got a little drunk last night. I like that. Yeah, I think so. I have a website. Let's see if I can remember it.
Okay. Okay, how do you want to handle this public intoxication? You want to plead not guilty, no contest, or guilty?
Guilty.
Court will find you guilty, assess $484 fine and court cost. You receive one day jail credit. And your balance is $334. So, Mr. Morris, I need to see you no later than 2 p.m. on the first business day following your release. So if you get out today, I need to see you tomorrow. You're welcome to come to the 11 o'clock court time instead, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Morris.
Thank you.
Judge Maria here.
Perfect. Okay, I have Oscar Obi.
Absolutely. Go for it. No, that fee is never ever gonna get paid. I told you he's my soulmate. There's no way I would pay it. Lock me up. I'll do the time to pay for the crime. I can't remember what this oh, I remember. I remember what this last one is. I think this guy I don't remember if this was all in one night or multiple nights. Either way, it's pretty bad. This is Georgia. And that attorney.
All right, the next
cracks
person I
me
need to
up.
speak with is Andre Barber. Mr. Barber, come on up to the podium, please.
I don't know if we hear her on this one, but she's funny.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Barber. You are charged in 2408-01388 with aggravated, well, there are 7 warrants. And the first one is aggravated assault. The second is aggravated assault. The third is aggravated assault. The fourth is aggravated assault. The fifth is aggravated assault. The sixth is aggravated assault. So let me just read over this briefly.
And I wasn't listening. Were there all these aggravated assaults in one day, or this is many, many, many cases of aggravated assault? And I think a possession.
Okay. Mr. Carter.
Thank you, Judge. And I just wanted to also add that one of the alleged victims in the case is in the waiting room and would like to be heard on bond. That is a Nadia Chapman.
I think we just have a random iPhone in the waiting room.
Okay. She did indicate that
It's
she
a
is
good
in the
idea to
waiting
let
room.
them in.
I'm not sure what her listed
Random
name
iPhones?
is.
Yes.
But I will go ahead and start with my
Shush, Fuzzy.
argument,
Shush.
Judge.
It's good.
All right,
It's good.
Madam
Let 'em in.
Clerk, if you want to try to figure out who that is, I
You were
guess you
so
can
proud
let
of
them in.
yourself.
But go ahead, Mr. Carter.
500 and how many people?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Barber is just 18 years old. He currently lives with his mom and other family members, along with the alleged victim, Nadia Chapman. He's lived in Georgia his entire life. He's from Atlanta, born and raised. He does have a child, a 1-year-old baby. Also, Your Honor, he has worked at Bojangles for over 2 years. And just before his arrest, he was getting lined up with another job as a traffic stop supervisor. He has taken classes for his GED, but has not gained his GED yet at the moment. And Your Honor, we would be asking for a $5,000 bond in this case, also due to his very...
Was it 7 ag assaults and 1 like possession or something? He's 18 years old.
limited history. And that is our request, Judge.
All right, Mr. Seaman.
Judge, we are recommending, although he has no criminal history at this time, we're recommending no bond in this case. This, based on review of the warrant, seems to have involved pointing a gun, shooting at multiple people, and also deliberately crashing a vehicle into people, resulting in injury. One of the, a lot of the people here at the big, one of them, Amir Barber, we have not been able to get into contact with. Possibly, we don't know the extent of the injuries to that victim. But at this time, we're requesting no bond. If Your Honor does grant a bond, we're requesting no contact with the victims and no firearms.
And
There are more
Nan sees it.
injuries.
It appears that based on the warrant that says serious bodily injury
Give him a
to
second,
Amir
man.
Barber,
Everybody
who was
else
the
see it
passenger in
too.
the vehicle. Like I said, we have not been able to get in contact with that person. So
Well, I mean, it says just the standard aggravated
it's
assault.
the standard language.
It's
so-
likely to or actually does result. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah, we don't know for sure either way. All we know is that we've been unable to get in contact with these people or that person. And, based on the description of the conduct, it's possible that there was severe injury.
And Mr. Barber doesn't have any convictions, but he has a pending case. Is that right? Or is that wrong?
Turn your sound
No,
back up,
Judge,
guys.
that is right. That is a pending Clayton obstruction, reckless conduct, possession of a dangerous weapon, and removal of a weapon from a public official. And again, that case is recent. It's from August 24, pending out of Clayton. Also seems to involve firearms like this one, specifically like a dangerous firearm. I don't know if that is a short barrel or a machine gun, but that is the charge, and also removing a weapon from a public official. So based on that pending case and the conduct in this case, we're asking for no bond. But if Your Honor is inclined to grant a bond, we would request no contact with the victims and
I
no
wonder who's
firearms.
talking.
All right.
And Your Honor, sorry to interrupt. The alleged victim, Nadia Chapman, is in the Zoom under iPhone. She said that she cannot change her name. It won't let her.
Okay.
If she could be heard.
Yeah, that's fine. Ms. Chapman, if you want to unmute, and Mr. Carter may have some questions for you, and I need you to turn on your video. Ms. Chapman, unfortunately, I just see a black screen. There we are. Thank you, Ms. Chapman.
All right, Ms. Chapman. I'm sorry, Judge. Yes. Ms. Chapman, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear under the penalty of perjury to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, you can put your hand down. Can you state your name and the relationship to Andre Barber?
My name is Nadia Chapman. He's the father of my child.
And how long have you known Mr. Chapman? Or Mr. Barber, excuse me.
Over a year now.
And without getting...
CJ, I think we're going to make it to the end of the video and no one but me and you are going to know. I just don't get it. I've been saying it the whole video. No one's listening to me except for you.
Getting into the facts of this case, what is your opinion as to Mr. Barber's bond?
I feel like he should get a bond. Everything's been better. I mean, he's been around us. Amir stayed with us.
And if he were to get out on bond?
CJ, you do see it, right? I'm not alone. That little icon meant you saw what I saw. You see what I see right on the screen, right? No, you can't listen. No, you.
Would you like to have contact with Mr. Barber?
Yes.
I have no further questions, Judge.
All right. Mr. Seaman, do you want to ask her anything?
Do you know what the relationship with Amir Barber is and the defendant?
That's his son.
Did Amir get any injuries as a result of this?
No.
He's so salty. This
I have no
guy.
further questions.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Chapman. You can go ahead and mute yourself. I'm very concerned about the allegations in the warrant. both the ramming of the vehicle and the pulling of the gun, which it says in the probable cause was an assault rifle. I have concerns that he has a significant risk to these particular people, but also just community in general. And there's also another pending dangerous weapon case. So I'm going to deny bond at this time, but Mr. Barber, your attorney can file a motion for bond. I'm sure he will with Superior Court. All right, thank you. And Ms. Chapman, we can put her back in the waiting room and she can log off. Thank you.
Yes, I am. It's not my fault. I'm just trying to listen to court cases, and she kept calling him out over and over and over again. It's like, you have to stop, lady. She doesn't even care. She just kept calling him out over and over and over again. And I thought you guys would be like on it right away. So I kept saying, who's this talking? Who's this? Linus, read the name of the ADA out loud. All right. It's time to go to a jury trial. But I didn't fast forward it, so we're gonna find it together, guys. Oh, I was here for this. I can't remember when it was. Hi, Victoria. All right, hold on. There we go. So if you don't know, Judge Fleischer started a trial today. And all we're going to do is pick a jury today, which is so fun. Just fun. Oh no, I'm so sorry, Lori. That's almost as good as the other time when what did I say? SIR, or did I can't remember, but I turned everybody's devices on to play Despacito. I love that day. Wish I could do it again, but I won't. I really won't, guys. But I just so you know, I want to. Yeah, that's the word. That's the word I used. But I'm not going to say that today. I'm never going to say that again, but I loved it. You should listen to Despacito more often. It has a jaunty beat. So the trial is about trespassing. I have to. You guys. Oh my God. Oh my God. This see the jury. There we go. I got it all out for you. Now you don't have to. We don't see the trial during this stream. We only see the jury picking during this stream. The trial starts in 5:30, 6:30, 7:30, 4 more hours. 4 more hours and the trial starts. This is the defendant.
I'm missing a body. I think you went to the restroom. That's why I was. Wait, Stephen. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all can kind of spread out a little bit further on this bench. Y'all have to be right up on top of each other. Now, all are accounted for, Your Honor.
There we go. All right, everybody, please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Thank you so much for coming to pay us a visit today. My name is David Fleischer. I'm the judge here in Harris County Criminal Court at Law Number 5. We are one humble court here of 16 in Harris County. I don't know what you guys know of the criminal justice system, so I'm going to go from the top. I will start at the beginning because I don't know what you know. I don't know what kind of experience you have. In the state of Texas, we have two types of criminal charges. We have felonies and we have misdemeanors. What's the difference? The difference is the type of time you were looking at. Anything a year and below, it's a misdemeanor. Anything a year and above, it's a felony charge. Within those two, I guess, those two charges, we have subclasses. So we're not going to be talking about felonies because here we have a misdemeanor court. So I'm just going to be focusing on the misdemeanors. There are three types of misdemeanors. There is A, B, and C. C would be the least worst of all three, and then A would be the worst. A, you're looking at a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. On a Class B misdemeanor, you're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. And then Class C would be traffic type offenses and non-jail punishable offenses like speeding, no insurance. Believe it or not, there's a Class C assault where there's harmful or offensive touching. All we deal with here are Class B and Class A misdemeanors. Whenever you are charged with a Class C offense, you either go to municipal court, which is that place on Lubbock that everybody knows about, or depending on where you are in the city, you might hit a justice of the peace. Remember, Harris County is so large, so incredibly large that it will take you 2 hours to 3 hours from one part of Harris County, depending on traffic, to the other part, from Katy all the way to, what is it, Webster, give or take, right? That is a lot of space. And because we don't want all those people going to just one place in downtown Houston to Lubbock, they have created Justice of the Peace to help alleviate, backlog and to help everybody, to where you are in the city. Now, what we have here is we have a trial here today on the gentleman sitting down here. I'm now going to introduce you to the players in the game to see whether you guys know any of these people here. State, would you please raise yourself and identify yourselves?
Good morning, my name is Kamal Petrov on behalf of the state.
Does anybody recognize any of these players? Okay, please be seated. Defense?
We're Kobe DeBose, Florida Defense, Ron Gales, and this is Mr. Simmons.
Does anybody recognize them? Okay, guys, please be seated. This trial will run 2 days. It will run today and it will run tomorrow. Is there anyone that cannot be here tomorrow for any reason, one or the other? It really doesn't matter. We just want to know that if you are selected, that you can be here at the minimum tomorrow. We will end this thing tomorrow. We try to be as efficient as we can, but is there anyone here by raise of hand that cannot be here tomorrow? Anyone? Okay, ma'am. Do you have some kind of obligation other than you just don't want to be here?
No. My dad just passed, so I missed a week of work, and then I'm a teacher.
Okay.
What is your number?
Yeah, geez, juror number 10. We'll get to that, ma'am. So let me be frank and with you guys that we're not asking you to split the atom here. We're not asking anyone to do any kind of scientific theories, Plato's technology, Pythagoras theorem. It's not that hard. We're not asking one to do any rocket science here. All we're asking you to do is listen to a little bit of evidence,
yes, absolutely,
and make a judgment call. It's really not difficult. You guys are the judges, whoever selected for this panel. You are the judges of the believability of the witnesses and of the evidence presented. And all we are asking you to do is take a little bit of time out of your day and to make a judgment call. I know that you guys don't want to be here. I don't want to be here either. I'd rather be at home, playing Fortnite, but no, I got to be here working, right? So I really, really thank you from the bottom of all of our hearts for you to be here. I know that it is impactful on your day, but this is what separates us from other countries. Without you guys here being here, our criminal justice system doesn't function. And I'm going to be frank, and that out of the 4 million people that live in Harris County, 5%.
Judge, that's better. Judge Frank Fleischer. He's going to be Frank, he said. Judge Frank Fleischer. I can't say that very fast. You got that really fast. Out loud. Don't do it in your head. That's
abysmal, and it's sad. It truly is. So thank you so much for being here. You really should pat yourselves on the back, because really, people just don't show up, and we need a fair cross section of our public, because that's what Houston is. It's not one gender, it's not one race, it is everyone, because we are a melting pot. So thank you so much for coming. What we're going to do now is I'm going to have the jurors explain to you guys a little bit about the law and what we're doing here. And I'm going to have them question you guys each just for about half an hour to see who is right to sit on this jury and who is not right. Now, remember, we're not asking you to do anything crazy. Just use your judgment, use your intuition. When you hear someone talking, if they are from outer space or if they truly know what they're talking about. That's what we're asking you to do. Is there anyone here that doesn't speak English or doesn't understand English very well? It's okay. We just want to know now before you get impaneled. Anyone? Okay. Does anyone have any questions before we go forward?
I thought this is my first jury ever.
Wonderful.
I thought it was just one big thing, so I'm scheduled to work tomorrow morning. I'm wondering if you were saying, is there any kind of, I won't be able to.
What do you do, sir?
I forecast the day.
Sorry, guys. It looks like we're headed into issues. So Comcast is doing maintenance on my network right now, and they will let me know when it's over. And they said that my internet would be iffy until it's over. So I see it's going in a bad direction right now. So we're good so far. We're going to try to get through the rest of this jury selection.
Very
Oh.
kind of like.
All right, I'll wait. I gotta wait for a second because it's really bad right now. I'm just gonna wait another second. I'll just fill this with chatter because people love my chatter. Yeah. There we go. We good now? I think we're good now. Don't tempt me. In case you don't know, I hate jury selection. I hate watching jury selection, and I had to watch it today, and now I got to watch it again. I hate jury selection. Hate it.
Okay, we'll get to you. And that was what is your number?
And we didn't even start yet. We haven't even started jury selection.
Are you
yet.
going to get in trouble if you don't? Don't worry, we'll take care of you. Look, there's a reason why I pull 35 people here, because I understand that you have obligations. Not everybody can take time off to come. I appreciate you coming here, and perhaps at some point in the future, you'll be in a better place to, come and sit. And I certainly don't want you to get in trouble or get you fired or anything like that. So we can address that certainly at a later time. Anyone else that can't be here tomorrow for any reason whatsoever?
Because other people think this is very interesting.
Anyone? Ma'am, juror number 1.
It's not.
Okay. All right. So that was 1, 11, and
19, same thing, work.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Got it. Okay. All right. Without further ado, I'm going to let Guys, are you ready? Elaine? All right.
And now it begins. Ooh. But it'll end. It really will.
My name is Elaine Contreras. I am an attorney for the state of Texas. Very
Like
quickly,
dating.
everybody, please do this with your cards. Raise your hands, please. Thank you. Put them down. Raise them again. Thank you. This is what you're going to do.
Damn, I'm good.
If you speak, please speak up, speak loudly and slowly so that she can hear you because we are on record. So we are here on a misdemeanor case, like the judge told you. It is a criminal trespass case. It's not a murder, it's not an attack assault, it's not anything like that. It is a criminal trespass. First of all, the person sitting in that chair, Mr. Simmons, has rights constitutionally that we must respect and we must follow the law and make sure that these rights are observed. Mr. Simmons is innocent until proven guilty. He has the right to a jury trial by a group of you, part of his community. He has a right to an attorney, and he has great attorneys today with him. The burden of proof is on the state of Texas, on me, to prove to you beyond a reasonable doubt that he did what the state alleges he did. He has the right to remain silent. He doesn't have to say a word. He has the right to all discovery. Everything that I have, everything that the state has been turned over to the defense, has been shown to them. And he has the right to cross-examine the witnesses. Whatever witness I may call to the stand, he has the right to ask them questions as well. Now, this is a criminal trespass case, and in the criminal trespass, we must show that the defendant, Mr. Xavier Simmons, on or about December 1st, 2023, in Harris County, Texas, intentionally and knowingly, unlawfully, and with notice that entry was forbidden, entered and remained in the habitation of another without the effective consent of that person. Those are the 7 things that I must prove to you. No more, no less. Now, is there anybody here who, for some maybe moral reasons or religious reasons, just cannot sit in judgment of another? That's totally fine. Please tell me, let's talk about this. If anybody just cannot judge another person. Anybody? No? Okay. Is there anyone who, looking at these elements, you just cannot convict a person based on just that? Like you're gonna need more help with this. Some kind of like a additional. Is there anybody who cannot convict based on just those 7 things? Anybody who is going to need an additional bad act, an additional injury, or something like that? Like this is not enough for a criminal conviction of any kind. Is there anybody who feels that way? Juror number 26. Tell us. How do you
I
feel about this?
want proof of that you said he intentionally, knowingly, unlawfully would notice he entered. So how do you prove they gave him notice that he knew he wasn't supposed to be there?
Excellent question. Who else has a similar question, similar doubts? Juror number 29. Anybody else? Juror number 16. Okay. How do we know that the entry is forbidden? How do we know that we're not supposed to be somewhere? What do y'all think? Any thoughts? How do we know we can't enter a place?
If it's not yours.
Number 22.
If it's like a house or something, it's not your house.
If it's a house and it's not your house, you are not invited in. And I'm told-
Some way to get into
Sir, can
the
you
place.
speak up?
Well, if someone had a way to get into the place, like a key, it wouldn't really be unlawful entry if you had a key to the place beforehand.
Okay. That would not help. Yeah, it has a key that will, what else? How else do we know that? So far, if it's someone else's house, or if you don't have a key to enter it, what else? Like how else? Can we know? Yes.
If you ask me with the window,
You put that little window. Do we know if that's? Yes, for number 50.
There's usually signs, so it says forbidden, no trespassing, which you have to respect.
You have to respect the signs. Okay. Now, what if it's a house? Does a house have to have a sign, no trespassing? Yes, for number 29.
it would depend on whose house it is and what security they have.
Okay, anybody agree or disagree? Juror number 34.
They don't need a sign.
Common sense, not to enter a private residence of the home.
I don't know. In that case, maybe if certain areas like that's all areas where
In case you missed it, the question they're discussing is, does a house have to have a no trespassing sign on it? And this is a whole discussion they're having.
Number 18.
Could be some confusion, could be several people living in the house. Maybe one person invited them in, but the rest, the other people didn't want it there, so it's like, you know. I wasn't invited in, but maybe the owners of the house said, you're not supposed to be here, we don't want you here, so.
Okay, so in case there's a confusion, just let me make sure that I'm understanding correctly. If somebody invited you in, but the actual owners of the house said that it's not okay for you to be there, is it still okay for you?
You know, invited you in the house,
Is that an improper commitment question?
We're not committed, we're just discussing hypotheticals. It's not for reason.
Say it again.
The juror brought it up.
Yeah, we're
It's
not,
also a misstatement of the law. I just want to be clear. It's not owner's not anywhere in what they pledge.
we're also not stating that law.
Well,
here.
hold on. Both you got, well, what's the question? What
This
was,
is just a discussion.
okay, did you ask a question, Elena, or no?
The juror number 18 brought up a point of being invited to the house without the permission of the owner.
And then I believe the follow-up question was something about, well, what if the owner, she asked a question, I don't know exactly what the word was.
If that's okay to be in someone else's house without the permission of the owner.
So don't ask improper commitment questions, and then let's not get into the facts of the case. So ladies and gentlemen, you know, we at this point in the game, we cannot get into the facts of the case. It's only for those who are selected on the jury who will be able to listen to what happened on the case and then make a judgment call. At this point, we're merely trying to decide whether you would be a proper juror or not. So they're trying to ask you questions to see, hey, have you had some kind of life experience that would bar you from being able to sit as a juror on this case? Or will you be able to put everything aside and make a judgment call, you know? Okay, please.
Okay. Same thing, if it's you were just saying that if it's a house, then like juror number 34 said, please repeat what you said first.
Oh, if it's a private residence, it's a private home. It's common sense to not enter it even if the person wants.
Thank you. What if it's an empty house? Does anybody disagree with that statement then? Is it still a private property?
Yes. Yes.
Does anybody disagree? Yes, juror number 29.
Well, the house itself private land, the land around it is. So it would just be occupying the space that is on the land.
Okay, and would that prevent you from making a fair and partial judgment in that case?
It wouldn't impact my decision. It's just an observation.
Okay, but would you be able to remain fair and impartial?
My question is that to know the laws in the state, because I know different states. So you're allowed to stay there. Even if you want to.
And we will get to that. Again, we're not here to discuss the facts of the case, and we'll get into the law later. But just to be clear for the record, does anybody think that an empty house is somehow less of a property than an occupied house? Door number 4,
If it was abandoned, it might be.
abandoned. What if it's not abandoned?
It's still, if you can tell that it's still under the control of an individual, then that is private property.
How can you tell that something is under control of someone?
It's welfare.
Well, that, what else?
Doors are locked.
Doors locked or secure, okay, what else?
There's a sign out there, maybe.
Door number? Turn around. Door number 18, okay, repeat it. What'd you say?
If there are signs out there, if there's like some kind of sign,
So signs, well kept property, door security, door number 5. Property records, that you can research online. Property records, you can research online, good, anyone else? Okay, good. Does anybody disagree? This is all. No? Okay. Any one of you ever had any personal experience with someone being on your property without permission? Yes. Your number? 11. Yeah, tell us about it.
Oh, somebody broke into the house.
You broke into your house? How does that, did that,
I was doing that.
I was scared? I'm sorry, you have to tell us about that. Would that prevent you from making your impartial mistakes?
It's just like, it is not, I mean, it's not worse.
Yeah. Based with your experience, would you still be able to be impartial in a case like this, or?
I mean, it's just that, it's the same thing, like, it doesn't belong to you, why you right?
Okay, I understand. Who else agrees with door number 11? Door number 32.
So break in,
Also break in?
yeah, that's one of the problems.
Okay. And so it was a long time ago. Would that still affect you? Does it affect your judgment in any way? No. Door number 4.
I've been broken into the house twice, once quite some time ago, about 1983, the other one was 2013.
Is that something that affected you to the extent that you will not be able to be fair and impartial?
No.
Can you be fair and impartial in this case?
I'm always fair.
I like it.
Door number 15.
They break in, so we broke into our house. And, yeah.
Sorry, I can't understand.
Looks like somebody broke into the house.
Can you still be fair and impartial in which judgment? You think so?
I got experience going, you know, on that street. So, I don't think that would be fair. The case.
So you don't feel like you was there. Okay, thank you, I appreciate that, thank you for sharing. Does anybody agree with number 33? Number 33, can you please repeat what you said out louder?
I said, when I took a trip, to go to Mexico, when I came back, some of my, property was stolen. And that's the reason I feel that, people that enter the property is not welcome at any time. Either, the property is taken or you live there, they're not welcome. They don't have any business being there.
It's guilty there.
Okay, so you cannot be fair and impartial? Who cannot be fair and impartial, if somebody's on the property?
What if there's an emergency? I mean, there's always other things to consider. Why does everything have to be black and white? What if there's an emergency? There's a house is burning, children inside you need to go save. I mean, that's why we keep open minds. You never know until you have the whole story.
We do not have the full story right now because this is not the track. We're just selecting the jury for the track, okay? Nothing's burning right now, okay, and, okay, anybody who cannot reach a judgment and be fair because of their prior experiences, I need to see those cards. Please, no? Just, number 33? Okay, now, law enforcement. I am going to go one by one and I'm going to ask you to give me a number about what you feel about law enforcement in general. The reason why I'm asking this question is because in our system, every witness who takes that stand is started on equal footing. They are all considered equally credible, and it's up to you to decide their credibility. So one by one, I'm gonna go starting from juror number 1, and you tell me how you generally feel about law enforcement. 1 being very negative and 4 being very positive. Okay, juror number 1, please. Give us a number.
3. 4.
Speak up, please.
4.
And I need your number.
And hold up your number, speak up.
I'm sorry.
Your number 6,
4.
your number 7.
Only if he's smart.
4, your number 8,
4.
9,
3.
number 10, number 11, number 12. 3. 4, number 15. 2.5. Number 16.
What should I call it?
I don't know.
Okay, number 17,
3.
number 18,
2.
number 19,
1.
number 20, number 21,
3.
number 22,
4.
number 23,
4.
24,
3.
25,
2.5.
26, 3, 27,
2.
28,
3.
29,
4. 4.
2,
4. 3.
number 24, 2.5.
3.
Thank you. Does anybody, either you yourselves or maybe family members or members of law enforcement? Number 8, you're retired. Thank you for your service. Number 9,
I have 2 cousins and an uncle. They're police.
based on that, would you believe a police officer understands more than the lay witness?
Not necessarily.
Number 8, what about you? I'm sorry?
I have to show that the person that's totally innocent. Have to be shown that the person that did committed the crime, then
Okay. Number 23.
Oh, my fault, it was the officer, when I came here.
Okay.
He passed away.
I'm sorry.
He passed.
So would you give an officer more credibility because of that, because of your father was a former HPD officer?
No, I would look at.
Okay. Okay. Anybody would give an officer more credibility or less credibility? Anybody would give an officer less credibility because you're not 19?
I'll just personal experience.
Okay, what, would you mind sharing with us what kind of experience that is?
I'm rather not sure.
Oh, thank you. All right. Okay, so I just broke the thing. Great. Okay, never mind. So the elements that we all talked about in the beginning, those 7 things, we are moving on to the standard of proof. The standard of proof is the burden of proof is on the state, and it is beyond a reasonable doubt. It's probably the most complicated part is to figure out what that is. So it's not beyond all doubt. It's not beyond a shadow of a doubt. It's not beyond some percentage of a doubt. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. And what is reasonable, that is why you all are here. It's up to you to decide if it's reasonable or not. We don't know what reasonable is. Nobody knows what that is. We know what's unreasonable, right? We see it every day. So you're here to basically be reasonable. It is possible to have some doubt and still know something beyond a reasonable doubt. Just ask yourself, is there a doubt? And if that doubt is reasonable, and whether or not it goes to one of those 7 elements that we discussed, just strictly within the case, this is what requires. Does anybody have a problem with that part? Is there anybody who needs to know beyond all possible doubt? Or does anybody have any kind of confusion with that reasonableness? Anyone? Someone? Something?
5 minutes, Elena.
Thank you, Judge. Is everybody okay with the term reasonable and what it means? And nobody is going to require absolutely everything 100% certainty. Does anybody here who cannot convict a person if they don't have 100% of everything in front of them? No?
So you're asking, can I convict a person with having some doubt? Or can I convict a person beyond a reasonable doubt?
Beyond a reasonable doubt.
Meaning that there is some doubt, but it is reasonable.
There could be a
Lady, he just needs to have the wrong haircut. And I'm all in. Guilty.
some doubt, because it's not the shadow of a doubt, like you're not going to know everything about the case. If you knew everything about what was going on, then at that time, that you would not be sitting here, I promise you. You would be sitting on that chair in the witness stand. You were not there, so obviously you're not going to know all of that. Is there anybody who has a big problem with that? You're not. You cannot.
I don't think so. I mean, you're entering somebody into the system, into the criminal system. If you have some doubt, I wouldn't do that to somebody.
Okay, even if it's beyond a reasonable doubt?
Reasonable, subjective.
Well, subjective, good point. Okay, who agrees with number 19? Cannot convict somebody criminally Number 18, okay, anybody else? Thank you, Fleischer. Number 16. Okay, cannot convict plus. Okay, number 20. Anyone else? All right. Well, this is all from me then. Thank you all very much.
All right. Thank you so much. Mr. DeBose, floor is yours.
Sure. Get some house cleaning set up and get our stuff here. It's furniture rush. Do I need to switch? Sure. You got the magic touch, thanks. Here it is, thank you.
Hi, Lacey. No, those kitties are bad. They're growling at each other right now behind me.
Y'all heard earlier, go through those. This is Brian Garris. We've talked a lot about Brian in this board hire because you're going to be hearing a lot from him during this trial. It's not just me, it's a team effort. And this is Mr. Simmons, Xavier Simmons. Garris and DeBose, I'm privileged to be able to try cases with my best friend in the law, Brian. We have a lot in common. We both went to the University of Houston. I came here about 15 years ago. Brian was a little bit ahead of me, a couple of years. We both have worked at some time. The gentleman right there actually just passed away. In the front is Mr. Mike McGarrett, wonderful lawyer who passed away a couple of weeks ago. Brian and I both kind of cut our teeth under him. If I get a little emotional, I'm sorry. It's the first time I've really shown this picture since he passed away. But a wonderful lawyer, and what he taught Brian and I whenever we try these cases is that the little cases, she told me this isn't a murder, rare misdemeanor court, are just as important as the big cases, whether it's a murder or an ag assault. You know, we've been privileged. This picture is Brian with a gentleman named Bernie Tita. They made a movie about him. He was a mortician in East Texas. And Brian, was privileged to defend him. With Mr. McGarrett and on our own, in our practice, we've been able to defend all kinds of people, police officers who were, accused of murder, athletes. For some reason, every time an athlete gets in trouble at a college in Texas, my phone rings. And I don't know if there's Longhorns or Aggies or SMU Mustangs, but it comes from everybody. So I don't play any favorites in that regard. But those are not any more important than the case of the person that you've never heard of.
It's okay. I'm just giving it a second to catch up. It's okay. It's okay. Comcast is doing maintenance in my area. Comcast is messing with me. It's 6 a.m. They should be done by now. My mesh is perfect. I do speed tests on her all the time. Okay. I'm going to keep going.
Very tight to him and pass on to us. So we prepare these cases as if, it's the most important thing in Mr. Simmons' life. It's very important that you're all here. And we prepare all these cases the same, whether it's a murder or we're here. Brian, so as you heard, this is the government against Xavier Simmons. Of course, for the state of Texas, you heard her, she's a lawyer for the state of Texas. One of the things that I feel privileged about practicing in this county, Harris County has this wonderful reputation and legacy for good criminal defense, going back to people like Racehorse Haynes and all these old lawyers that most people haven't heard of anymore. Part of that doesn't really necessarily have to do with the lawyers. It has to do with the people in Harris County. People in Harris County are kind of gritty, no nonsense. I call it the cradle of common sense.
We know what's what. I thought. Okay. She's gonna tell me to slow down some. One of my issues is that sometimes I talk a little fast, so I'm gonna try to slow down. One of the reasons that Harris County has such a good reputation for criminal defense is because of the people. Now, I don't blame these lawyers for the fact that every time someone sneezes, the lights turn off in Texas, and the Harris County can't keep our lights on during hurricanes. That's the government, that's not these lawyers. You know, we got something down there in the Gulf brewing, but I think there's a healthy sort of skepticism in this particular community. People like to come here, respect constitutional rights, make sure that we hold our government to its standard. We don't just throw people away just because the government accuses someone of something. Brian, who do we represent? You know, we represent Mr. Simmons. I discussed that, but there's been others to that point. You know, we've got a trial that's starting this week. Gerald Goins, who's an HPD officer who was involved in a big raid, and a bunch of people died, and he's on trial for murder. Brian and I, along with our friend Jonathan Landers, we were privileged to represent Mr. Otis Mallett, who cleared his name 12 years later based upon Mr. Goins fabricating some evidence. Our client was declared actually innocent, right? He was convicted. But one of the reasons that we have trials and that we have, hopefully have good lawyers at the top level is that
Has he said one word that has anything to do with picking a jury or this trial or anything? No, the answer is just no. And Fozzie, don't you understand how projects work? Of course, I haven't used the chainsaw yet. First, you think of the project. Then maybe you buy something for the project, but you don't actually do the project for another 6 months. I'm working on it. I will get to it. Mama, thank you.
things like that can happen, so that we can get in there and mix it up early, so that we don't have to come in 12 years later and clear somebody's name off of a cop, you know, who obviously wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Of course, not every cop's like that. HPD is a huge agency, and we live in a massive place. What that means is that our law enforcement agencies are full of some people doing a nice job, some people not. You know, anybody who knows law enforcement understands that. Houston judge, sorry to go back. Houston judge dies with death row prisoner. Ryan and I privileged to represent Mr. Ronald Hamilton, who was on death row, and some false evidence was presented in his case. He ends up being convicted or found guilty of a crime that he did not commit. We were able to convince a judge of that. And we've had these opportunities, and what it's shown us is that in a county this big, you know, it's really important that we get it right, that we get constitutional rights right, because you know, bad things can happen when we don't. This is why we have this system, we have these protections. Moving on. So, I heard the state say one thing, innocent, well, what was that next word? Until proven guilty. Hold on 1 second, right? I see some of these lawyers, the reason that people say innocent until proven guilty, I think it's because of the TV lawyers. Got Harvey Scepter there from Suits, and Tom Cruise, who played in A Few Good Men. And then my favorite from my cousin Vinny, talking about the grits on the stove. And I think all these TV lawyers have led us to a wrong conclusion, right? This is Lee Corso, he says, not so fast, my friend. It's not innocent until proven guilty. It's innocent unless proven guilty. There's nothing inevitable about this. It starts at 0. The state starts right here with nothing. And they have to move up to beyond a reasonable doubt. There's nothing inevitable about them proving their case. And it's y'all's job as jurors to check them along the way, to make sure that they've ruled out every single reasonable doubt. Right. So this is a mountain. We're kind of basic, and the arrows are kind of pointing at the different levels of proof. You know, I think we have some civil lawyers here, obviously, and the classic criminal lawyer thing is to say, well, over in the civil courthouse, where they're fighting about money, you only have to prove the case 51%. That's somewhere in the middle. Down below is probable cause and reasonable suspicion. You only need a little bit of evidence to stop somebody, to pull you over in your car, or really to arrest someone. To get beyond a reasonable doubt, you got to climb a very tall mountain. This is my favorite show when I was young. Bob Barker, The Price is Right. And that's the game where the little guy goes up, you know, he goes that way. And first time I yelled in court, I wondered what the court reporter would do. I thought she might but she just wrote lawyer yodels, so it wasn't as interesting as it. But the reason I bring this up is because, they've got to scale them out. Some people show stairs. I don't like stairs. We all climb stairs every day. That's easy, right? But climbing a mountain is hard.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Ladies. Don't mind the cats back there. They're just playing. Ladies, I just want you to know, a man just posted this in chat and nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. We outnumber them outstandingly in this chat. And you know what? I will put my chainsaw skills up against any of y'all. Any of y'all. My lawn needs done. And I'm not calling someone. Can you come help me do my lawn? I'm going to do my lawn. Ladies shouldn't do lawns. I'm so happy I'm not married and listen to this every day. Look at this. Needs a man's hands.
I want to stop right now and I want to tell y'all, so I don't jump around and ask you to put up your stuff. I wait until the end and everybody's going to have a chance to answer one question and then we can explore some of your thoughts. And that question is going to be, if you were me as a defense lawyer, would you choose yourself to be on the jury? And you can take that wherever you want to.
It looks fun.
If you got something you want to ask or something you want to expand on. But I didn't like it in law school, when we got cold called. I think it makes people nervous. Sometimes you don't know what the question is being asked. So I want everybody to be thinking about what they want to say to that. If you're me, would you choose yourself? There's no wrong answers. I mean, like I said, I brought the civil lawyers. We have some people who work in civil law here.
Donald, I don't know why you're single.
My mom right now is going through a cancer thing, diagnosis 2 years in. And in the beginning of this, we had a doctor just monkeyed up the diagnosis, told her she had 3 to 6 months, got the originating spot, I don't know the terms, but got the cancer wrong where it started, inflicted just immense trauma on my dad and my family. And that has kind of informed her entire treatment. And I think about myself and I say, well, if I was on a jury and there was a doctor who was accused of misdiagnosing someone, would I put the weight of the world on his shoulders and make him carry the sins of every doctor, or make him carry the sins of the doctor who made my dad cry in that room? I would hope not, but maybe I would, right? And maybe some days I would, some days I wouldn't. Maybe I'm driving to court, I hear a song that reminds me of my mom, right? So that's a tough thing. We all bring our experiences in here, and I don't expect you to shed those experiences. So there's no wrong answers. We just want to know who you are and a little bit of who you are. And I'm not trying to probe into your deepest, darkest secrets, but we'd like to know, if you're the right person for this jury for Mr. Simmons. Right? So talking about reasonable doubt, I heard the prosecutor say, well, nobody knows what reasonable is. Well, I disagree. We're all reasonable people. I got a 10-month-old. I know my wife doesn't think it's reasonable when I put him on the counter and I look away and I go do something. She thinks that's pretty unreasonable. I say, no, he's not going to go anywhere. It'd be real unreasonable if he fell off and got hurt. I think we all understand what reasonable is. In law school, I had a classmate named Zach Schneider. I should call him Reasonable Schneider, because there was another man named Zach Schneider who was Unreasonable Schneider. I think they kind of had different personalities. But we came to learn in law school what reasonable is and what reasonable isn't, because it's one of the judgment calls that you have to make in the law all the time. And the state's burden is to rule out every possible reasonable doubt as to the elements of their case. Now, why do I show you Tom Brokaw when he was probably about my age? And then this gentleman with an oversized Tylenol. Well, got this here, a little bit of a toothache. I used to have more Tylenol here, but I've been eating them. In the 1980s, Tylenol had recalled millions and millions of bottles. And I was born in '86. I wasn't around to remember this, but I know a lot of people will. These bottles were tainted with cyanide, or the pills were. There were 6 pills that were tainted with cyanide. 6 people died in Chicago. So they had to recall 300 million bottles. And the reason was, people like my wife, or moms around the country, said, I don't care if it's 6 pills in 300 million bottles. I'm not opening that pill or that bottle and giving a pill to my kid. And you'd never look at that mom and say, well, that's unreasonable. It's only 6. They'd say, I'm not doing it. And the reason I bring that up is that reasonable doubt is not a quantum of evidence, right? It's not about the size of your doubt. It's whether the doubt is reasonable. Okay, and reasonable, what's reasonable mean? Well, based in
Not the
reason.
size of the
right?
doubt that matters.
Based in reason, sure, if aliens came down and did something, maybe that's not reasonable. But a reasonable doubt is something based in reason, based in logic. And this is a big doubt. It just has to be based in reason. Right? So the presumption of innocence, the judge will instruct you later on that. And there's our mountain again. You start at the bottom, it's presumed innocent.
Citizen, it's nice to see you right now. It's not, the trial hasn't gone on yet. What yesterday was jury selection. And then in a couple hours, the trial will start. And we're pretty sure it's going to end today. So I'll show it tomorrow.
Who starts innocent, it's their mountain to climb. We don't have the responsibility to do anything. We can sit there. In fact, 2 trials ago, Mr. Garrison and I tried a case. Unbelievably, I didn't give an opening statement. I didn't question a single witness. And we won the trial. It was a risky strategy. We came up with it the night before. And he said, I don't think they're going to prove their case and you don't need to say anything. And I said, Brian, do you understand if we lose this trial and I don't say anything, that I'm going to be a big idiot? He said, yeah, but imagine if you don't lose. Okay. And it was a not guilty verdict. And the reason is the presumption of innocence alone is enough to acquit the defendant if the state doesn't prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. And they didn't in that instance. And the presumption of innocence is hard. It's something that you have to work to protect. You drive down the road, and this might have been true in Miami on Sunday. Some of y'all, anybody that follows the NFL, Tyreek Hill was going to play football, run as fast as he runs, and all of a sudden he's in handcuffs on the ground. Some people might have driven by that and said, wonder what he did. Right? I've done it, and I'm a criminal defense lawyer. I gotta give my life to this. And I drive down the road on the interstate, and I see a guy, and I go, wonder what's in that car, or wonder what's not in that car. But that's not necessarily our answer, always. The only time I've ever seen it that the presumption of innocence actually was in effect was when Scotty Scheffler, the golfer, got arrested going to the PGA Championship. And on the internet, everybody said, why don't we just wait and see the money? That's well, that's good. Why don't we, let's do this every time, right? But it's really, really hard, right? Here's one of the reasons it's hard. And I want to make something clear. These prosecutors didn't write this or anything to do with this. I'm not using this to besmirch them. But this is from the Texas District and County Attorneys Association. This is from a magazine called The Texas Prosecutor. It was written by Ryan Calder. He's a DA in Brazos County. And he wrote, always be closing, using voir dire to argue misdemeanor cases. And he writes about something called the primacy effect. Says it's a well-known, documented psychological phenomenon, which says that the earlier people receive information, the better they accept and recall. By using voir dire to begin the message that will carry through the closing argument, prosecutors take advantage of the primacy effect and begin closing before the defense lawyer ever speaks. Oh, right? Already winning our case before I even get up out of the chair. And that's, psychology is real, right? The stuff we receive first, we remember better. It's in the code, the state gets to go first. I had a juror look at me one time and go, but you get to go last. Not so fast, my friend, they get to go last too. I get to be right here in the middle. But it's something that you guys are gonna have to find. You're gonna have to say, all right, well, I'm hearing what the prosecution's saying, I'm hearing what their witnesses are saying. We've got cross-examination coming, right? We've got, let's see what this defense lawyer has to say. And that's the duty in these cases. Because if these kind of psychological things, and look, there's a lot of things in a court system that are designed to affirm the power of the state. For instance, table, and then you as a jury. This is where the state sits, and we're over there. I have no idea why the state gets to sit close to the jury in every court I've been in Texas. It's not in the rules anywhere. It's not anybody doing anything wrong. It's just the way it is. I've often talked to Mr. Garris. What if we came in early one day, sat there, what would happen? And I was like, I don't want to try it, man. The whole system might just break. You know, but it's little things like that. You know, the state has a seal. You saw it on their slides. It looks a lot like the seal that's all over this court. These are the little things, and this building is so tall. The power of the government is huge. I step out of this building, and I get 2 things. I look up, and I see these massive buildings all over there. Just a kid from South Carolina. I think this is wow. Why am I here? I am so happy to be doing the work I'm doing. This massive city. But then I look up how big these buildings are, and I go, I go into this huge government building, and there's another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. And we've got to take on the government, and we've got to make sure that we hold them accountable. It's hard stuff, and the only reason, jurors, you're here for my client. The state's made its decision on what they think happened, otherwise we wouldn't be in trial. The jury's job is to check the state and make sure that, like I said, they rule out every single reasonable doubt, because liberty is at stake here, freedom, like somebody going into jail, somebody being labeled a criminal for the rest of their life, these are big ideas, even in a misdemeanor court. Right. So sometimes the state shows a picture of an animal that has puzzle pieces. They didn't today. It's a little less effective than it usually is, but they ask you in regard to reasonable doubt, well, some puzzle pieces are missing, but can't you be sure that that's a tiger? People say, yeah, it's a tiger. I can be sure it's a tiger. And then I respond, well, there's a picture of a tiger. Is that really a tiger, or is it something bigger? Well, that's a picture of my wife, actually. The reason I'm showing you the picture is not because it's a tiger.
Guys are
but
being
my
so
wife,
nice,
Australian
Casey.
citizen, that's
Thank
where I'm
you.
at.
People love
And the reason I show this is that when
They
you shrink the
love
picture
it.
down real
Kelly
small,
got one.
sometimes we miss bigger things. I heard y'all ask some questions earlier, things like, well, what if, the person was given an invitation by someone who lived there? Or what if it was somebody other than the owner? Those kinds of questions. When you shrink the picture so small, you can sometimes miss other things that matter and can help you make a good decision and inform your choice. And part of what we're going to try to do, we don't have any obligation to bring you evidence. Our job is really to help try to guide you guys into ruling out reasonable, or not ruling out reasonable doubts, but finding reasonable doubts or holding on to them. But sometimes we'll try to expand the picture and make sure that you guys have, a good understanding of what's going on, right? So trespassing, we heard a little bit about it. It's 30.05 of the Texas Penal Code. And what it says, the person commits an offense, the person enters or remains on or in the property of another, and there's one more there, without
Guys, he's
effective
talking about
consent,
the case,
and
finally.
the person had noticed that entry was forbidden. In this case, as you're gonna see, it's a little bit.
Oh, now I feel really bad because I'm making Victoria listen to this again, too. I'm so sorry, Victoria. We're almost done. We're almost through it.
More than that, they've added in habitation. So it's entering not just the property of another. We think about property. I don't own a lot of it. I might have a ranch one day, and my ranch might have 60 fields, right? It might have a couple buildings. In this case, they've alleged a habitation. So they have to prove specifically that a person was in a habitation without consent. We're not going to get into the fact. And we heard a little bit about notice, right? What does notice mean? The person has that notice. Well, it can be a lot of things. It can be oral or written communication by the owner, right? I tell you, no, bye-bye, right? Get out of here, or don't come here. Fencing or another enclosure, right? Something that would give somebody some common sense, right? Somebody that would give us a common sense understanding that we're not supposed to be there. There's other stuff too. Signs posted on the property. Now, placement of identifying purple paint marks on trees, that's actually in the code. That's very specific. But I think that has more to do with when we're talking
There's
about.
Victoria.
a
Hi,
real problem.
Victoria.
But notice has specific meaning in the code. You guys are going to get all this law whenever the ones of you that end up on the jury. Brian? So I want to ask now, and I'm going to try to move that quickly because I've gone a little bit long, but question is, if you were me as a defense lawyer, would you choose yourself to be a juror in this case, and why? What do you think? Juror one?
Yes.
Why? Yeah. Well, I want to ask you, my best friend is an engineering VP for an oil and gas company. My one question to him is, how do you get this stuff out of the ground? And it seems like his explanations are always way over my head. So you got to know if you're going to be on this jury. It's going to be a little bit simpler because I don't know how to explain it on a level that you guys end up on. But all we're asking is for.
Citizen, we thought about you the whole time. And I'm glad she's home now. I'm very glad. And thank you.
It's just if you can be fair, listen to the evidence and be impartial, which I think you can do, right? Okay. Number two, Mr. Carroll.
Yes, I think I could be your case. I think making sure that we have, the full entire picture, like you said, rather than zooming on one fact or a couple facts. Create the illusion that there's a full picture rather than having a larger macro scale of what the situation was. This person defending themselves or they speak up. I don't want to get to the fact that I'm saying there's other factors that we obviously come into rather than just the action itself.
Sure. Okay. Hey, number 3, the board check?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would, I'd be partial, but,
What are you gonna say?
I mean, if you're not supposed to be there, you're not supposed to be there, no matter what.
Sure.
And that's why I would start with it. But you proved to me that you could be there,
Sure.
and I listened to you.
Fair enough, and I guess that brings me to the question, it's a hard one, and I'm not saying you're wrong, that's not what this is, but, you know, we don't have to really prove anything. It sounds like to me, maybe you're starting off with a, out of here, and you have.
Which I am, yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to court today. Linus, Fozzie, Maiko. Oh, I almost named some of the other mods and caught myself. I'm going to fall asleep and I don't know when I'm going to wake up. So I might not make it today.
And that's totally fair, like I say, being able to say that is important.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4, I believe you said, I'm always fair and impartial, which I appreciate, but I guess I'll ask.
I think you would be lucky to have me on this.
Well, he's not.
Careful what you wish for.
I do listen to evidence, and I know that there are common truths and common things that you can look at evidence differently.
Sure.
And know that there could be more than one truth.
Well, before I take any days to trial, I call my mom, she's my sort of sounding board. Yeah, if I'm in the trial, it's because she's told me that I'm not sniffing my own parts, or that's what I say where I'm from, or that I'm not smelling my own roses, right? She checks me to make sure that it's no BS, and jurors need to have good BS meetings. All right, Chairman, myself.
Well, let's say, I think I would be a picture, however, being in the real estate business, I am able to be reasonable on property records and these other things, and so. I mean, so in real estate, it's kind of second wind to just look like, wait, okay, they were at this place. Whose place is this? Is this?
Sure.
Property that it can be on? Is this owned by someone? Is this owned by a company?
Sure.
And if it is it public or is it private? And it's, to me, private property, private property.
Do you think you have a hard time, and I get it, as a lawyer, one of these people don't sometimes want us on jury, because they think we'll go through it, look up everything, I don't know, I'd love to think I can follow the rules, but curiosity gets the cat. Do you think, you know, it'd be hard for you to not look up that sort of outside evidence?
I'm a curious person.
All right.
5 minutes, Commissioner Bose.
Yes, sir. Mr. Yeah. Yes, the answer, or yes, that's your name?
Based on the comments of my fellow juror, fellow members of the panel, I would not use one of the parameters on.
Fair enough. I like that answer. All right, juror number 7, Mr. Davis.
Yeah, I would say that I'm probably not a good choice for you.
Why is that?
I'm over probably protective of my stuff. And there's a difference between trespass and criminal trespass.
Sure. Look, I own a house, you know, I got a wife, so I get in your phone.
Juror number 7?
Yes.
Got it.
Juror number 8, I know you said you're a retired cop, but I hate to judge somebody just because of their old occupation. I want to give you a chance to answer.
Well, I feel agree that you should do that.
Do you think you'd start off with bias toward the state? I'm
I
sorry.
would be in favor of that.
I appreciate the honesty. Thank you. Juror number 9, Streetheart? Streetheart, all right.
I think I'd be a good juror. I tend to be pretty open-minded, sometimes to the point of being indecisive.
Sure.
I think that's where I would err, but I think I'm gonna get
Okay. Thank you. So,
I'm sorry.
You're telling us. You good? Give you time to turn it off.
Fozzie, quit calling the
Juror
jurors.
number 10 is Jordan Hoffman, so sorry about that. My question, what's your answer?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. She said, I think so, yes. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Juror number 11, I know you said you had a burglary when you were young at your house, and it's pretty scary. It's fair. I'll give you a chance to answer the question. What do you think?
I would say no.
You would say no? Why is that?
For the same reason, I'm like, you know, I mean, you're not welcome,
Sure.
you don't have an invitation.
So I guess the question then, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, I mean, I understand maybe some emergency or something, but for me, it's like, if you're not supposed to do it, fine.
Sure. And one question I want to ask, it's because of your past experiences, do you think it'd be hard for you to be sort of fair and impartial in this case? Or is it something else?
I guess just also like, what views on,
Okay.
you know, what's yours and what's not, you know?
Okay. So you'd have a hard time listening to all the evidence before you made a decision in this case? Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your answer. No problem. Mr. Hart, thoughts?
Don't worry about it. You got to work tomorrow.
Work tomorrow.
Just move on.
You said, well, you know, I don't think we want you to get fired. Appreciate you there. All right, juror 13, Mr. Sarah?
Yes, I would say I'm very open to both sides.
That's all we ask. Juror 14, Ms. Wu.
I would say no.
Okay, what's that?
Because I'm the person, I need to see all the clear pictures and all the evidence. You know, so if the property, it has an ownership, and the person has no right, and I just don't think that person should be able to go. I mean, should go through that area. I mean, understand just emergency. Emergency is a different case, you know, natural disaster, totally understand. But
Well, I want to make sure something's clear, because I think these questions, and you're not saying anything wrong. We don't know what's going to be proven yet, right? I mean, if the state proves all these elements beyond a reasonable doubt, I'm not asking you, hey there, let me know that you would never convict. You know, that's not a fair question for me to ask. You know, and I think what you're saying is if the state proves all the elements, then you would find guilty, and there's nothing wrong with that answer. We don't know what's going to be proven.
And he's right. You want to know what they have to offer. You would be a good juror because you're telling us now you want to see everything that they have to offer, and then you make a judgment call. That's all we're asking you to do.
I heard that you are not able to disclose all the information.
Well, and let me clear that up. We're not able to give you all the information right now. If you end up
Then,
lost,
yes.
you're gonna get the world's your oyster. I don't know how much evidence you're gonna produce. It might not be enough for you, right? That's part of my job. But you'll certainly learn about the case more than we think would say you now. Okay? All right. Juror number 15, believe these days. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'd probably be a good juror, but I have extensive litigation experience.
I got extensive litigation experience. I want big.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm not meaning to be funny. You know,
No,
you work in a law firm, right?
Yes.
So I mean, what I'm trying to get at, I think it's a civil law, right? Insurance. All right, we're not your own PI case, right?
No. No, or I'd be gone.
Well, you know, I think in your role, you're paralegal.
Yes.
So you're kind of used to looking at evidence and breaking down cases and all that.
Yes.
Okay. Do you mean, I guess, do you think, just sitting here knowing what you know now, do you think it'd be hard to be fair to them, or?
No, I.
But you think maybe, well, you got some lawyers don't like to have people in the legal field. I'm not necessarily that way.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, understood. Thank you for that. Juror number 16, Ms. Wesley.
Yes.
Thoughts?
I don't know. I probably could be a good juror, but again, I expressed the concern about something earlier.
Curious to have a note. If there's anything you want to tell us now, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, I expressed a concern about, oh, shit. Hold on one second.
Okay.
I expressed concern about, Oh, yeah. Concern about,
Prior experience with the break.
Oh, it was a prior experience with the break-in, I'm sorry.
yeah, prior experience.
Okay, do you think that that prior experience with the break-in would make it difficult for you to be fair in this case?
No.
You don't think it would be difficult? You think it could be fair? That's all we ask. You're 17?
I'm not entirely sure. I feel that I could be fair and impartial, but I've also never been in this situation, and if it came time to convict somebody, and I don't, I could feel guilty about it if I wasn't 100% sure. But then I guess it just depends on what the evidence.
Sure.
So
It's a really hard question sitting here right now, not knowing what the evidence is going to show. I recognize that. That's okay. Juror number 18, Mrs. Hart.
Yes, I think I'll be a good juror. I believe, yeah.
I like it. Yes.
Juror 19, I think you'd be a great juror for me.
Yeah, probably, I would.
I'm going to answer the question. Yeah, I think you said some things, you had some experience with officers, and I'm not going to ask you to share your experience. I'll let you answer that. Do you think yourself you're me?
For you, probably. Okay. It's not the other side.
Fair enough. Hey, that's all right.
He says he has to work anyways tomorrow.
You have to work tomorrow?
I do have, yeah.
You had meetings or something that were
Pre-scheduled meetings, yeah.
All right. You're good. Ms. Romero?
Yes, as long as I'm presented, the best results.
Sure. And I guess a follow-up question to that, and I don't mean to put you on the spot. You understand that, we don't, it's not a tug of war, right? We don't have to present anything. It's their burden. And I'm not trying to say you weren't saying that, but you get that? Is that okay with you? That part of the law, that the state has the hard job here? Or do you think that?
As long as I feel like within my conscience that it matches what their verdict is. I'm sorry, I'm losing.
Can you speak up a little bit for the court reporter here?
Yeah, as long as they can, like, consciously, as long as I can be okay with what they're presenting, if it makes sense, then I think that can be there.
Fair enough. Juror 41, single vote?
That's right, yeah.
All right, okay, good.
I think I would be.
Okay.
I should give the caveat that I have a family member that was a district attorney for almost 30 years.
Okay.
So it's possible that I could look at it through that lens.
Okay.
I'm capable of making an impartial decision based on the evidence in front of me though.
Sure. Well, I think in fact, I would have never known about your family member. The fact that you're coming forward with it and saying it, you got it in your head, means that, you're probably the kind of person who's trying to do the right thing, which is really all we ask of the jurors, right? Okay. All right, good. Juror number 22. Good.
Last one, Kobe. It's time.
All right, juror 23, I'll ask you again, your dad, was at the top. Would you choose yourself to be your name?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that probably won't, be, I intend to, let's just, I tell myself the capitalist, and it is for the capitalist. And, I always have looked at private property, whether it's your body, your house, your car, as your sanctuary. Sure. And in our system, I think it extends to the Constitution, guarantees certain rights, and I take it very seriously. As citizens that pay taxes and who have worked all their life. And I try to respect other people's property without saying. I'm also an outdoorsman, so I know about the purpose thing.
There you go. Well, I will ask you some thoughts, because let's get wrapped up. I've gone a little long. As a capitalist and a person who, knows about the Bill of Rights and sanctity of our bodies and all that, and that's part of what we do, you'd agree with me that some of the Bill of Rights is to protect us as well against the government intruding on our property and on our sort of freedoms too, right? Is that a fair statement?
Yes, yeah, but in other areas of law, I was also a mayor and a first responder.
Sure.
And by the police and murder law, for example, if I see you choking on a hot dog, I can't automatically go to work on you. I have to ask you if if I can save your life, sir. I have to respect that's your personal property, sir. I have to respect you if you say, no, I'm okay as your attorney verbal, sir. What the law says is that I can't do a damn thing until you pass out. And then the law says, yeah, you could assume that he did foreclose, but I have to wait. And that's a very important.
Well, I tell you, I'm gonna respect your right
Fozzie
to answer
does.
my question, no, if you got that right, that's all right. Okay, I'm not gonna ask a long about the answer on that, but I will say, you know, as you're thinking about it, if you do end up on this jury, all that this question is really about is, can you give us a fair shake? It's not that hard, it's not that complicated, and I think most people are capable of it. I respect juries, because when I get back there and talk to you after the trial, most people come to me and have the right idea about what we're doing here. So, you know, if you have something you really got to tell us, please make sure that you do. But thank you for your time. Appreciate you all being here.
Thank you, Mr. DeBose.
Yeah.
Hey, Lori's, do you want to come on up real quick?
Type of out. Hi, Ramona.
We truly want the people who don't want to be here, who truly can't be fair. We really don't want them here, right? So, I guess let's start round one. What do you have as first for cause? Yeah. Oh, are you ready? Okay, all right. Okay. Brian, I think that you'd probably be in agreement with us. And I think that you guys are probably, yeah, okay, so. What do you have in the first row? Do you have anything else? Really, 3? Kobe, what, do you have number 3? In a response? What do you think?
Terry, while they're doing this, I wondered, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. You're the youngest of 4, right?
Juror number 3, would you mind coming up, please? Number
Are
3,
they
would you mind coming up, please?
sisters, brothers, or both? I think it would be cool if you were the youngest of 4 sisters.
Thank you so much for showing up. What we ultimately want is we want people who, number one, want to be here. Number one. Number 2, will listen to the law and they just make a decision based that are presented and entered in the evidence. Mr. Garris, I'm sorry, Kobe, you presented a question earlier, please. Guys.
I'm sorry, I can't hear what they're saying up here. You're gonna have to keep it down.
Microphone's right there.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So we don't want to talk about any facts yet, right?
Yeah. Trespassers in the house. Permission.
Well, you're already presuming things. Don't.
Okay, okay.
Are you able to come into this with a clean mind? Everything else that you're thinking about now, you got to put it aside. We don't care. We don't care about past experience. Are you able to listen? Start from scratch. Like anything that you're thinking about now, just throw it out the window. We don't care. Right? What matters is what you hear, what you see, and can you render a verdict based on that?
Yes.
You put out any kind of preconceived notions, this, that.
That's all, I mean, that's all we ask, right?
Well, I don't know. Are you able to do that?
Yes.
You sure? And it's okay. There's no right or wrong answer, really. There's not.
Yeah. It's acceptable. That's all we ask for.
Okay. You okay?
Yes, Judge, we
Yeah.
did.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Kobe, it's up to you. It's. What? I don't think anyone heard anything. Yay or nay? You tell me. It's up to you. Okay. Okay. Who else? Oh, yeah, we could. Oh, well, I'm gonna admonish her on that. I mean, it's up to you.
Somebody got access to that information. Looking it up.
Your Honor, if you're looking to take position on this, I think it's the one of our concept.
I don't know. You tell me. Yay or nay?
We say, no, Judge, we think.
Okay.
Somebody just come out.
Okay. All right. So that's first row. I grant it.
Okay.
Okay, so 4, 5, 7, 8, and 11. Stricken. 8 and 11. Okay. State second row.
16.
19. And I've got those two. What about 12 and 16?
So 16. Purchase her house with under control. She was very indecisive for the answering defense question of where she could go. Purchase 2.
Oh, she was the one that had a hard time answering questions. Mhm. I think that I'm gonna think. I'm yeah. Pravallo was yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yes. Okay. So is there anyone else? Do you have anyone else on the second one? No, that's already there. Yeah. Okay. Is that it for the second row? That's it, right? Who's the last guy on the second row? Have an alternate as well. I have an alternate coming, so I'll give you an extra point, Jay. Okay. Yeah.
So just to complete for the record, that 6 years would be.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. I have 7 strict.
Well, can you, cite them?
6 and then 1 alternate.
Oh, right. Okay, but I meant,
So 6 would be potential 18 and the alternate would be from 20 to 22. So like, for example, we have- Okay.
good.
We understand.
Can you start just right?
I do have a structure record.
Oh, no. So are you ready?
Yes.
So, right, it's 5, 7, 8, 11, 12, 16, and 19. We have 23 or no? Did we have 23?
We didn't go up there.
No? Okay, that's it. Okay, guys, make your strikes 5 minutes, huh, so we can get everybody.
We're gonna step back over there.
Yeah.
But if you need to call.
Okay. Okay, guys, ladies and gentlemen, so what's going on now is, you know, we really want people who want to be here. You know, I think that in what I've dealt with in the past is that, you know, when you have people who sit on a panel and they don't want to be here, they either resent it, they just don't have a good experience, and that's not what we want. You know, we want people who want to be here, who want to partake in the system, enjoy being part of the civic duty, because this is really, I mean, you know, this is really important. There's a life here, and there are lifelong consequences when you get a conviction on your record. It doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how trivial it may be to you, but it's a life nonetheless. And so we really, really take it seriously. And as such, we want people who want to be here. We want people who are enthusiastic and will listen to the evidence and really make a judgment call. Like I said earlier, it's not rocket science. It really isn't. It's just listening. You know, in your heart and in your gut, when someone is trying to blow smoke up your poker, that's just real life. You all are adults. You've been here and you've met people, right? And you know.
I know because I paid.
That's
for
all
it.
we're asking for. So for those of you who are not selected, I hope that you will come back and visit us. I've heard that you'll get a 3-year reprieve. I can't guarantee that, but I hope you do. But if you are called upon again, I hope that you'll pay us a visit again, because we do need you. And unfortunately, it's very, you know, we don't get that big of a pool that come out here. What's happening now is I've given each side peremptory strikes, meaning that they have a certain number of strikes that they can make who they think jurors would not be good for their side or for jurors on this case. We've also made strikes based upon who thought that either didn't want to be here, had to work, had other conflicts. We've made our own strikes as well. After 5 minutes, they're going to come back. They're going to give us their strikes. We will reconcile the list. And then the first 6 to 7 will be on the panel. So that's how it works. So give us 5 minutes and we'll have you guys out of here for those who aren't selected. Okay. So we'll stand in recess for that.
I have that thing out.
Okay. Come back, Judge. Come back.
Hey, let's go visit him too. You know, let's make a plan. Like maybe one day we
Talking
can
about
visit
Fleischer.
both of them.
Both of them.
Oh, really? Yeah, let's do it, huh?
I know they're going to visit Fleischer. Who else are they visiting?
You turned your list in, Brian? Yes, sir. Okay, great. Okay, on Kaufman, I'm revoking his bonds, 10,003 on all of them. Page 6 and 7. 10,003 on all of them.
We're all going to Monica's. I'm in. I want to go to Monica's. Can I come? I'll bring chips. Bring potato chips.
Yes, ma'am. I know, yeah, caramba la bamba.
Other than the one, was there anyone else that you
Everyone here, all unaccounted for?
all accounted for, Your Honor?
What is that?
Thank you.
Ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. We're gonna call your name out. When you hear a name, small golf clap. Please come take a seat in our jury box and we will have you sworn in.
Juror number 1, Daniela Colmenares. Number 2, Karum Andrew Joseph. Number 4, Bullard James Allen. Number 6, Mikhail Timothy Martin. Number 9, Sperhart, excuse me if I chopped up your last name, Allison Klang. Number 17, Briggs Kyle Edward. Number 21, Sliventhal Jeffrey Michael.
All right. State. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you would please rise. Any objection from the state to the jury, to the panel?
No objection from the state.
Okay, any objection from the defense? Great. I think we have a wonderful panel. I'm so excited. Guys, would you please raise your right hand? And ma'am, please.
Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that in the cause now on trial you will a true verdict render according to the law and the evidence submitted to you, so help you God?
Hold on a second.
Number 1, when she came up here, she told me she wouldn't be able to be here tomorrow.
I think I mentioned that earlier, but I wasn't sure if it was caught. You guys asked in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I spoke up about,
All right, come up.
Maybe it'll be a really good
So,
trial.
Let's
Could
get
be.
the panel
It could be.
list. Who would be next?
Hey, Tokyo.
Who's the last juror that was called up? At 21. So, yeah. 22 is next on the list. No, 21 is on there, so 21 becomes the new one, and then we'll get the next one, will be the alternate. Should be 22. Oh, did you? Okay, I don't know. So either, what about 23? So we'll get 23 as an alternate, just like oh, yeah, you're right. You're right, 23, so it'd be 24 then. Which one is 24? The last one. He's an alternate regardless, so it's an alternate. So he's just as needed, so to speak. To be, it'll be juror 24. Okay, so I'm gonna put that on the record. So one will be taken out, I'll put 24 in its place.
No, 21 in.
Right. Okay, all right, ma'am, you may be seated. If you want to just bring it, give Stephen your pass, please. Go, over here. Juror 24, which would be Eduardo Solis. Do you mind coming up, please? You can be here tomorrow, sir, correct? Okay, would you mind please taking a seat inside of the jury panel, please? So as it works now, Stephen Dahl, who was the alternate, now becomes one of the jurors, and then juror 24 is the alternate, correct? Okay, guys, if you would please raise your right hand. Are we good? Everyone, please happy, I hope. Okay, all right, raise your right hand. We'll have you sworn.
Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that in the cause now on trial you will true verdict render according to the law and the evidence submitted to you, so help you God?
Okay, please be seated. And just for purposes of the record.
Defense has no objection to this particular jury.
Okay.
They have no objections to this.
Wonderful. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you're excused. Thank you so much for coming. Stephen will direct you as far as the juror cards.
I have cakes in the walk-in that I just go and hug. I just go and hug the cakes in
Guys.
the walk-in. It's so wonderful.
So, come on, don't be shy. We're gonna break for the day now.
Yes.
And we will start promptly at 9 in the morning tomorrow, as soon as all the jurors.
Sounds good. We're gonna break now. We did it. We did it. I went as far as I could. Just the jury selection just sucked the whole life out of me every minute. I was just, whoo. Oh, I'm glad that's over. Hey, Maiko, are you still here by any chance? Maiko? Because I did another video today. It's day 6 a.m., which is why I'm tired, because I stopped. I gave up my sleep to get another video out. So I'm gonna skip Judge Fleischer's court tomorrow because I have to sleep. But I just gotta throw some stickers in it real quick, but not the cat one. And I mean, when I upload a video to YouTube, it takes a while to process. So when I say I can probably get it up there in like 20 minutes, I can get it up there in 20 minutes. But then YouTube just goes chug, 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 chug to process it. So I don't know when it'll be up, but I'm going to put it up in 20 minutes. And then that's true. So just a warning, the coroner is on today, so there's pictures, but the pictures are only on the laptop in one of the 4 screens, real tiny. So you don't actually have to look at the pictures if you don't want to. And they actually show like the autopsy. Like they show before and then they show like after. So you don't have to look though. You can just like look at one of the other squares or you can do your nails and listen. I'm sure you can, Fozzie. 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, it'll all be over. Oh, Charlotte, it's okay. All right, guys, we did it. I hope today's trial is awesome. I hope there's screaming and yelling and tears and tasers. I hope there's a taser today. There won't be. It's because there's lawyers on both sides and nobody's pro se. But we can still wish, you know? I wish, Casey, but that jury selection just did me in. It just did me in. I just, you know what I feel like, and this is the worst thing I'm gonna say, but this is, I feel like I just sat through. Remember when your kids were in school and they had the plays or the talent shows where all the grades, and you had to sit there through kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third, until you got to your kid. But then when you got to your kid, you still had to go through the rest of the kids. That's exactly what I feel like right now. I just went through a night watching all those. Uh, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. I hated it. I did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. They were cute for the first like bit, but then it was like hours later and none of the kids are behaving and the teachers are yelling and the parents are cluck 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 cluck. I call them the cluckers, the other mothers, because all they did was cluck 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 cluck. Hmm. All right. Somebody find me my outro. Found it. Ah, I can work a chainsaw. I can find my own outro. Yeah. See? See, Casey? Yeah. Yeah. You just dip after your kid is on. You show up late. You leave early. No, I didn't. I sat there through the whole thing because the mother cluckers. Yes, Donald. Cluck, 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 cluck. Where did Mrs. Estrada go? I'll show you where I went. McDonald's. I went to McDonald's. McDonald's was right. Never mind. Um, thanks for coming out, guys. I appreciate it. I really do. I really do. Oh, you know what? I was thinking about I was thinking about um taking actually I haven't got it all together yet. So I'll talk to you guys later. I'll talk to you later. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
Got these life echoes, digital dreams. Through the screen, her blue eyes gleam. Wicked humor, sharp as a knife. Her stream sparks electric light. Late night when the world sleeps, she's the friend that always keeps. Giggles roll like thunder loud. She stands out in any crowd. Cassie's laugh cuts through the gloom. Eyes blue like a summer's bloom. Her humor dark and twisted sharp. In a way, there's no alarm. Freedom tales waiting to the night. Her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle, she lights the way. Her eyes hear a sky so blue. In her jokes, there's a truth so true. With each string, she brings the light turns dark days into bright. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom, eyes blue like a summer's moon. Her humor dark and twisted sharp, in a way there's no alarm. Streaming tales late into the night, her laughter feels just right. Even when my world turns gray, with a giggle she lights the way. Kathy's laugh cuts through the gloom, eyes blue like a summer's moon. Her humor dark and twisted sharp, in a way there's no alarm.